and feminine energy is not gender specific. It is not. You can be the most manly of men and operate in masculine energy. I mean feminine energy. Although some men say no, you can't. No, you can't. There are men who are more calm, more laid back, and more fluid than other women. I mean, other men. It does not mean that that man is less of a man. It just means that he's more comfortable with his feminine side, to whereas that feminine energy where he can allow himself to flow that way. So I'm gonna break it down some more, and then I have something to discuss as well later on. I'm gonna bring it up.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Go ahead, sis.
Because I know y'all can hear them.
Yeah, kind
Let
of.
me go to another area. I'm going to a different area.
It's okay. It's okay. We understand. Look, I'm telling y'all, sis is busy. Like we are still doing these things while we are called to do other ministries. So y'all have to bear
Yeah.
with it. We we we
Sorry.
we building the
We had to.
kingdom, doing our part.
Yeah. So
You're good.
I had to be at this location because we have to sing at this event, this outside event. That was like I could go outside, but it's hot right
No, I don't want you to go outside. I don't want nobody to go outside. I'm not going until later on. But what I was stating, and y'all were there, we understand. So masculine, I'm gonna define masculine energy for you. And also I'm gonna bring up something later on about something that was revealed to me. So masculine energy, I wrote it down. Y'all know I come with notes. I wrote it down. Masculine energy is characterized by doing and achieving and is molded by logic and reason. Words that describe masculine energy: logical, confident, focused, strong, stable, clear, assertive, goal driven, direct, robust, conquering, and firm. Okay, that's masculine energy. Now, I just want to say something to all the sisters. Hey, sis, I hope you good today, but I want to ask you a question. Do you think that's the kind of man you want to be with all the time? But that's masculine energy. And I want me a man.
now. I want a man.
Yeah, I want a manly man. And then it's like you get the manly man and he's everything that
You're like,
all
I
of
don't want
these.
him.
Yeah, I don't want him. He too rough. He don't have no time for me. He don't even understand. Like you have to understand it takes a balance to have everything. And if you have all of one thing, and you know the phrase, too much of anything is not good.
It could be not gonna be a good thing. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So I remember saying when I was younger that I always wanted a guy that lift weights. It's just been something because my stepdad did it and my father was in calisthenics. So working out, I always wanted that. And one time we was watching a bodybuilding competition with my mom years ago, and I said, "Oh, I want a man that look like that." She said, "No, you don't." I said, "He
I
got
understand.
muscles. He's strong." She said, "Yeah, you think you want that?" And I was a little girl. I think I was under 12 years old when I said it because that was a big thing in the 80s. And so I'm sitting here and I gave that story because women always think, and feminine women always think, I want a man that's very assertive, that's goal oriented, that's driven, that's stable, that got his own stuff. Well, of course we want him to, brother, you need to have your own stuff. I'm just saying, you need to have your own stuff. Mm-mm. In your name.
Yeah.
In your name.
Ain't no name.
In your name. If
Yeah,
your cell
for
phone
sure.
need to be in your name, I'm sorry. We grown. But anyway, we just saying. Um, but what do you think, sis? What do you think about what I said?
I totally agree with you. I actually looked up that definition as well. And I think sometimes because we categorize um, femininity and masculinity as gender specific, then we attach attributes to those, to those identities. Like, oh, masculine. Oh, you think about somebody strong and firm and yeah, assertive, and because you attach that to a gender specific person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and with you put saying that a man should be masculine, and that's what you attach to them and those specific attributes. But when I looked up the definition, like you did, it said someone that's masculine is logical, you know, and they're predictable, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have identified someone as masculine as being logical. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, because when I look at myself, I said, I think I'm kind of a logical person,
Mm-hmm.
but I would have never would have associated me being logical is having a masculine energy.
Yeah.
And I'm a type of person that I'm going to do because if you're used to always doing because you don't have a choice,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're like, oh, I'm just doing it because it has to be done in
Mm-hmm.
spite of everything that's going on. I got to make sure this get done, so I'm gonna make sure it's done. But you're not associating that with, oh, I'm operating in my masculine energy.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So, but
Right.
I think what happens is they people want to associate those titles of masculinity and femininity to a gender specific. And I think that's where the lines get crossed because I think in order for you to have a healthy balance, I think we do operate in both,
We do.
and we tap into the essence of both.
We
But
do.
it's like I said earlier, one is going to be a little bit more dominant.
Than the other.
So, but other than that, but I think that's what happens, you know, because you're like, oh, she hard, and they associate hard with masculine.
Yes, they do.
But when you think about masculinity, it has nothing to do with hardness.
It
It
said
has
nothing
nothing to
about
do.
being hard. Nothing.
It has nothing. It has nothing to do with hardness. But you do have that when they was like, oh, she's so hard. No,
She too
no, that's not
masculine
her
for
being.
me. She too
Yeah, she's too
assertive.
masculine.
She too
Yeah, I'm like,
assertive.
yeah, that has nothing to do with masculinity, you know. But yeah, I think it again, it all comes down with being gender specific, and so that's what happens. You know, they try to associate it based on a man should be masculine and a woman should be feminine. I
Right.
think you can be equal. I think you can have essence of both
Right. I believe
to
so
have a
too.
healthy family.
I believe so too. Uh, a lot of times we make gender roles in relationships. We've been raised, we've been programmed that way. And now that we're seeing that a lot of those roles have reversed, where men are staying home with the children more so than women at a certain point. And so we're seeing the men are more of the homemakers and the women are the ones that are out in corporate America. It has actually reversed. And a lot of times I was called uh, assertive, very assertive back in the day, very aggressive, which they said is masculine energy, but that's not what's defined as masculine energy as you stated. Because I can be logical sometimes and I can be illogical sometimes. That's everyone. But you have to have a balance with it. Now, since we discussed masculine energy, how many of you that are watching and listening, comment below for us that can actually say and be honest with yourself and say, you know what, if you got more than three of these attributes, I'm gonna be real with you. You operating in masculine energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just for your own recognizances, you need to know that that's what energy you're operating in, and then I'll explain why. Okay, so let's go to feminine energy. What who is the most feminine woman that you know who exudes feminine energy? Not just feminine woman, but who is the most feminine energy exuding person that you know?
That I know,
Hmm.
like anybody,
Anybody. Just think of the person in your mind. I want you to think about it. I want everybody to think about it. Because here's the thing, I'm going to break down feminine energy, and then I want you to look at the attributes of the person that you're thinking of and look at yourself and compare the two. Because usually, when it comes down to feminine energy, most women look up to other women who exudes more femininity than they see themselves. They look up to a person that has more of that feminine energy that they can learn from. And this is the reason why. I'm going to explain with feminine energy. Feminine energy is more
Hold on.
intuitive.
Let me walk out of here.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. So y'all already know that sis is in between assignments. And this is an assignment that she is a part of and we are dedicated to being consistent with. And because we're doing other assignments doesn't mean that we can't keep and continue to do the assignments that we already promised God that we were going to do. So sis, you're good.
Sorry.
You're
We're
good.
gonna have sound check in a minute. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm gonna hurry up and finish, y'all. And I want y'all to keep that in your mind about that one person that you know that exudes feminine energy. Okay. Feminine energy.
I'm trying to think of someone, but I don't know.
Well,
I
while you thinking, you can give your points, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go into my spiel real quick. So you go keep thinking. Okay. All right. So as I was stating, feminine energy is intuitive or orinated. That is actually a word. Orinated. Orinated. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I can pronounce that word. Forward, moving, and receiving, and allowing. Here's a big one. I stated it last week. Being. Feminine energy is being. Okay. Intuitive, generous, nurturing, creative, collaborative, caring, receptive, graceful, and calm, which equals to being. And then it's fluid, refined, gentle, and continual. It's a constant, it's a flow because it's fluid. Now, when I say that, who now have you compared yourself, sis? Because me, I could be honest, sometimes I could be a little bit of both, like masculine and feminine. I flip and flop.
I know I am. I know I am. And the crazy thing about it, when I think about it, I think I have surrounded myself from like the women in my family. I think they I think they do have that feminine energy, but I think more a lot of the times the masculine energy is more dominant.
Yeah.
But I think it's more circumstantial in the circumstances that they're dealing with, and I think I can honestly say they probably operate more in the masculine energy than the feminine, if I'm just being honest. And
Yeah.
I think they do have a balance of both, because for me, I think I have operated a lot in my masculinity because, like I said, of upbringing and what I saw. So you kind of just, okay, this is what you see. This is how you got to get it done. Because you're being a doer, you're being
Hmm.
logical. You're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, your circumstances, how you got to raise your kids, how you got to do.
Right.
You just kind of
Right.
you're operating in that. And but you also have a softness to you,
Right.
because in being feminine you have more of a softness, nurturing, kind of loving, caring. So you're operating in them both. And that's why I think, honestly, the women that I have surrounded myself with, that have raised me,
Hmm.
they operated in both. But honestly, if I'm being honest, most of the time the masculine energy was more dominant.
Yes. And I'm glad that you brought that up because that's the segue right into what I wanted to bring up that I spoke about in the beginning. Something that God revealed to me recently and actually over time is that a lot of women nowadays are more prone to operate in their masculine energy because they were mainly raised by single moms. And single moms have to operate in a masculine energy most of the time in their lives because they have to be more assertive. They have to be builders, goal driven, because they're taking on the whole households by themselves. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with being single. I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm not judging. What I'm telling you is something that God revealed to me. God had to work with me, the Most High God had to work with me on my masculine and balancing my masculine and feminine energy, because at the time I was completely operating in masculine energy for a very long
Uh-huh.
time due to my upbringing, being raised with 9 uncles. Oh yeah, I was raised to be assertive. Don't let nobody push you. Don't let nobody run over you. Let everybody know you in the room. I mean, not like
Yeah.
that, but let them know that you're not gonna be the person that they're gonna take advantage of. And I realize now that God had to deal with me on that. And it's not just feminine energy is not just going to having spa dates, going to brunch with your friends. Men do that. They just call it breakfast. Just getting your hair and your nails done. That's not just feminine energy. That's upkeep. That's self care. And I want
That's self
everybody to,
care.
yeah, that's self care. I want everybody to understand that feminine energy is something that's internal. There a lot of times you'll have a couple, a husband and a wife, and you'll see that the roles are totally opposite. There are no gender roles. The husband is more maternal than the wife is. And that's just how it is. And it works with them because they know that they have a balance together. You want to know
Yeah.
how important it is for us to be balanced with our feminine and masculine energy? You cannot have more of the other if you're planning on being successful in life. And that's in anything. I'm going to read something really, really quick, sis, and then I'm going to let you say what you got to say. From a mindset coach. And I agree, I totally agree with her. She said, without feminine energy and masculine energy, a knot is not whole, and vice versa. Without feminine energy and masculine energy, it's not a whole. You're not a whole, and vice versa. Neither are whole. Without feminine energy, no one, you will not feel connected, valued, or appreciated. And without masculine energy, you may not feel supported, focused, purposeful, or successful. Both energies need to be fed to feed on each other. I don't like that word feed, y'all. Both energies need to be balanced out. Let me just say it like that. I don't like that feeding on each other. Nah, we ain't doing that. And her name, this statement came from Brenda Johnston, a mindset coach. So, sis,
Uh-huh.
what are your thoughts? What do you think?
I'm with you, and I when I was looking, because I was like, let me look this stuff up, because, like I said, those things that I operate in, I never categorize them as one energy or the other, you know. But one of the things when I read, it said that masculine energy is more predictable
Mm,
and feminine energy is unpredictable.
mm.
And I was like, what you mean, buddy? What you mean?
My husband
But
said
it
that
was
about
talking
me.
about how,
My husband said that about me when he
huh?
was alive. My husband said that about me. He said, "You're so unpredictable," and I was like,
And that's and that's feminine energy, because with masculinity, it relies on logical reasoning,
mm-hmm.
and for feminine energy, there it's not relying. It's not relying on rational circumstances.
So,
So
go
I
ahead.
think for me, when I look, I was like, well, if you have feminine energy, is that sort of like faith?
I was just about to get to it.
Is it sort of like faith, because faith doesn't rely on the facts.
That's right.
and it believes in spite of what is seen.
And
But
that's where I was
that's
going.
what, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's where
So
I was going.
if I say I'm feminine, a quality is that I'm operating in my faith, because I'm not relying on what I see, because I'm not relying on the facts.
Right.
So, because logically, the evidence is showing me one thing, but because of my feminine energy, I'm able to tap into that essence, and I believe in spite of.
Right.
Does that
That's
make
the
sense?
intuitiveness of feminine energy that they're discussing. And that's where I was going. Most feminine women operate more on faith than what they see. Because like honestly, women know when they're pregnant. I don't care which woman it is, they know. And some are intuitive enough to know what sex their child is just from the way they feel. I was one of those.
Yeah.
I knew that. But that's just a faith thing too. They have faith that, I asked for this. I know that's what I'm going to get. But
Yeah.
I just use that one, y'all, lightly, just lightly. But yes, if feminine energy is more of a faith walk. It's walking by faith and not by sight. It's nurturing the fact that, my faith is what's going to carry me through. And I won't have to work as hard because I know that my faith is going to bring me all the way through this situation and carry me from this end
Your
of the
love life
bridge
will
to the
come on.
next. So I'm just
Okay.
saying, I think there has to be a balance. You cannot have one without the other. There needs to be a balance, and it needs to be something that you pay more attention to than you've ever have before. Because the reason I said that is because you want to be successful. Right now, there's a prime opportunity, a great opportunity for women to become business owners, entrepreneurs. All right. But if you're constantly in feminine energy, not saying that things won't happen, and we lost her, but she'll come back. She'll come back on. Not saying that you won't be successful by just being in feminine energy, but you're gonna have be goal driven. That's just how it is in business. You can sit back and let things happen to you. It's going to happen. Everybody knows that. Anything can happen. It's just not what you're expecting, but anything can happen. But you have to have goals. They have to be goal set. If you want that business to grow and flourish, you have to be logical about your business planning. You have to be logical about your marketing. You have to be logical about your numbers. You can have faith in what you expect and what you desire for that business to do, but you also have to be logical and realistic. So masculine and feminine energy is also classified as yin and yang. Okay, so the yin and yang, which is the masculine and the feminine energy, and that's usually seen as a black and white, circle type thing. I forget emblem. No, it's not an emblem. Anyway, y'all, I'll go off on a tangent on that. So while I'm waiting for her, I just want to say this to you. There has to be a balance in our lives, no matter what. Okay, here she is. She's back. She is back. There has to be a there has to be a balance between our masculine and feminine energy in anything that we do. If you're too aggressive in a relationship, now to a relationship, if you're too aggressive in a relationship, guess what? Somebody's going to feel more dominated than the other person, and then they're going to feel that it's not an equal give and take. What you got going on is more important than what I have going on, or now you want me to sacrifice for you when it was your turn. I sacrificed already. Now it's my turn, and then it's a constant struggle back and forth. But if there's a balance of respect for each other's weaknesses and strengths, you got to have both with each individual person. That's called a balance of yin and yang, in my personal opinion. Now, somebody might say, no, that's just balance in a relationship. But you have to know what energy your mate operates mainly in so that you can balance them out. And that's why you have to be fluid in a relationship. I don't care what kind of relationship it is, whether it's business partners, whether it's just a friend, romantic, you have to understand the person and how they, what energy they operate in. That's why I was
That's
giving you examples. Go ahead, sis. That's why I was giving you examples.
now. I apologize. My phone got too hot, and it said danger. It was hot, and I just walked to the car.
That's that Texas. That's that Texas heat. It
Girl,
burn up
it's hot,
everything.
and we have to perform outside. It's hot.
Wow. For the
Yeah.
kingdom, though. For the kingdom.
Lord, you say go, I go.
I'll go. I'll go. I'll go. But you have any points you want to share? I just talked about how balancing out the feminine and masculine energy in when it comes down to business. That if you operate in one too much, you won't be as successful. So, do you have any pointers, any closing words, anything else you want to hit on?
No, I think I'm pretty sure what you said was really good. I'm gonna catch it later because I know it's pretty good. So I know it's really good. But the whole takeaway of it, just to let you guys know that it's not gender specific, because that's what we get caught up on, it being gender specific. You're like, okay, ooh, she too masculine for me. Um, no, that's the energy she's. It could be situational.
That's
You know,
true.
things happen, so it could be depending on what energy you're operating in. Situational. You know, in regards to her kids or her husband or her friends, she's more loving, she's more nurturing, she's that. But if she's a businesswoman and she have to go try to get these grants or get this deal and close this deal, she might be a little bit more assertive. So then she's operating in that energy because that's what it takes in order for her to close this deal. And
Right.
that's why I think it's more situational. And there's always going to be one that's more dominant at that time.
True.
But just to paint someone with a broad brush and say all women should be feminine all the time. No,
If all women were
no.
feminine all the
And
time, girl, we wouldn't get nothing done. Nothing. A
yeah,
child wouldn't eat, a child wouldn't get bathed, we wouldn't
well, they
bathe.
probably will because you probably will because you're trying to be nurturing, so you can make sure they eat.
Oh, that would be
But
after
but
the fact of letting everything go. Oh,
gotcha. Yeah, though I was like, I think it's just more or less, it has to be a healthy balance. I think anything is with everything there should be a healthy balance to them, and so I think that's what it requires. But I I just don't like it when they say, "Oh, you need to start operating in your feminine in order if you want a man." You're like, oh, okay.
first off, those men are weak men to me. And I'm glad you said that because that segued me right into this. Look, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna say nothing else. If you need a woman to stop being who God created her to be in order for you to be with her, then that's not the woman for you. Don't tell her she needs to operate differently. God gives you a measure of faith. According to your faith, do you have that measure? Guess what? He's going to give you the woman that's for you. That woman doesn't have to change for anyone because, in actuality, she's operating in the energy she needs to because probably of her situation. Like sis said, her situation. It could be situational. And then sometimes some things are just learned behaviors.
Yeah.
And a lot of people weren't educated on masculine and feminine energy. They got this whole thing about soft life. I don't call it a soft life. I call it living with ease and in luxury. I don't why we gotta name it a soft life. So that means I mean, men can have soft life too. I know a lot of men that do have soft lives. They used to be called gigolos. I'm just saying. There
It's
were.
just
I mean, I'm just being real. I mean, but now and then we call women who had a soft life years ago. We call them gold diggers. So if you're saying that, oh, you want her to be more feminine, and then if she becomes more feminine and she's looking to you for you to give to her, then it's too much. You want my money. You got to think about what you're saying. That's why it's important for us to know what we really want. We're looking for someone who compliments us. We're looking to be complimented, meaning somebody that we can work together with, that there's a balance with. If you're goal driven and you know that you want somebody that has her own stuff, or you're attracted to someone that has her own stuff, honey, don't start telling her that she need to operate more in her feminine energy. Baby, if she was
because
operating in her
you was attracted to the boss. That you was attracted to that. You like that. Ooh,
Yeah, look,
she
she
with
going
the
after her bag. She don't even
she
need
going,
me to go.
yeah, INDE, yeah, yeah, sang the whole song. That's what you liked about her. But now you are like, oh, you don't want her to sing the anthem. She can't
But you
sing
want to
the
know
anthem no
something?
more.
They always do that, and then when they get what they really think they want, it be a mirage, it be delusions, it be illusions, because that chick wants your money. She don't even like you. She just wants
Well,
what you can provide for her.
but you know what? I'm sorry, my eyes burning. But I think the crazy thing about it, it's not just it can be the reverse
Yes,
because
again.
sometimes women can say, because for me, I remember like when I met my I'm I'm divorced now, but when I met my ex husband, to me he was so nice, and I was like, I like a nice guy, but then I was like, man, Joker just nice. She just nice. And then for me, I'm like, dang, seem like he operating in his feminine. But I wasn't saying that, but because I wasn't using feminine energy and masculine, but I was associating what I thought a man characteristics should be. I wanted the supportive, I wanted the loving, I wanted the caring, the thoughtful person. But when I got him, I'm like, he just too nice. So it wasn't a him issue, that was a me issue, because that
Mm,
was me trying to characterize him based
mm,
on what society and what people say a man's man should be.
right.
He wasn't that man going in there and fixing stuff. He was a man's man that he might even go in there and fix it, but he's gonna pay somebody to come fix it.
I got it.
And that doesn't mean that he's less of a man, because he ain't a handyman. It's just that he took care of it. He just didn't
Exactly.
take care of it the way that, you know how you like, ooh, I want me a man's man. If something break down, he can go do this. Ooh, okay, well, maybe he ain't no man. He ain't that type of man. He's a man that gonna pay somebody, the other man, to come and fix it. How about that?
He said, why work harder? Work smarter. Work smarter. You work smarter, we can find somebody to do that. And we can both have a
Yeah,
little, go sit down and watch some TV.
yeah,
We ain't got to be in there. Let this man
yeah.
handle that. Let her handle. In fact, let's
Let,
call her.
let's
Let's
call
call
her to
them.
come do it.
Let them come in and fix it. We both sit here and wait. Nah, I get
Yeah,
it. I get it. I get it. I just it's really funny to me how people can say, I want a woman that's this way, or I want a man that's this way, and then you get that, and then you realize I don't want that, because you don't want that.
and then somebody don't.
You want somebody that compliments you. You want somebody to balance you out, because then that helps you to balance out. It's like
Yeah,
sometimes you get somebody that's exactly what you want, and then you be like, nah, they can't be real, and then they actually be the person for you. I'm just saying, like it happens so many times than not. You end up with a person that's actually for you, and you didn't think that person was for you because they couldn't be for me. They everything, and then it's like, wait, do you want everything, or do you just want to keep praying for? You want to keep praying? God, please don't make them like the last one. God, please. Even look, even when it comes down to working with people or sitting next to somebody and you got to do a project with them, you want somebody that's going to compliment you and balance you out. That's what it's about. It's about balance, everyone. This whole episode is about you becoming balanced with who you are so that you can
Yeah.
help build the kingdom in your authentic self. It's not about you. Oh, we joke about the relationship because that's what most people can relate to. It's relationships between a male and a feminine energy, and we want them to look like this. But we're trying to educate you on you don't have to have gender specific roles when it comes down to masculine and feminine energy. I like to cook, but I don't like to clean like that. I would rather. I'm gonna be
You don't want to
real. I don't. I'm not the one that be like, oh, my house got to be fit. I have children, y'all. I get tired of cleaning. I am a mommy that gets tired of cleaning. I get tired of saying, pick this up, pick that up, and then going after them and doing it, and then you do it, and then guess what? They expect the nurturing energy forever, but they can't have it forever because that's not realistic. They need to learn how to
Yeah.
provide for themselves. So they have to learn a balance of nurturing and discipline. That's just
Yay.
that's that's just life. And that would be masculine and feminine energy if you look at it. You teach them how to
Yeah.
self-care as well as be more disciplined. That's that masculine and feminine
Yeah.
energy at its finest, being a parent. There you go. But we just wanted to
Yeah.
share this with y'all today because we talked about stolen identity. Now we need to know who are you?
Yeah.
What are you operating
Who
in?
are you?
What are you operating in? And if you can, go check it out. Go look up masculine energy and feminine energy. You probably like, I already knew about that, but do you not know both are within you?
Mm-hmm.
Don't say,
Cause
I
I don't
ain't
want a man.
masculine. I ain't masculine. You're masculine when you do
But you know what? Some you do your neck. But you know what, sis? I think sometimes
that.
men. I think I ain't gonna say. I'm not just gonna say men, but I think sometimes people. I'm gonna say people. Sometimes people equate femininity to a woman, a damsel in distress. You know, like a man, or they want to be needed and just. But femininity has nothing to do with me being a damsel in distress. Like, oh, I need you to come and come. Oh, I need to stroke your
Ego.
ego, cause
We gonna say ego.
I need to your ego, cause you got a big ego. Yeah, I don't have to stroke that, but you know, like I said, like we've been saying, what the cross up is and what the hold up is, and I think the battle is that the argument has always been they're equating it to a gender specific person. And so they're identifying, because I'm a female, I have to identify as feminine. And since you're a male, you have to identify as masculine. And I think that's the argument. And I think if we understand that we can operate in them both, and if we have a healthy balance, and if you have a healthy balance within yourself, when you in a relationship, you will have a healthy relationship. And
True.
I think that's the thing.
That's true.
That,
And something I wanted to bring up, just a little point. If you are a believer of Christ, you believe in Christ, you believe in the Bible, you read your Bible. In the beginning, when God created Adam, Eve was in Adam. So if Eve was
so
already in Adam, that means that masculine and feminine energy is already
came from
in.
the man.
Thank you. We in there together. It's no way you can have one without the other. That's why
We can
God said
coexist.
it is not good for man to be alone. because he needs the balance. Once he took Eve out, Adam wasn't balanced no more. He saw everybody else had their companion. Y'all, some of you may not believe in that, and of course, I know there are other stories that are similar to it, and I've done my research on that as well. So, what I'm saying is that he saw everyone coupled up, and he wanted a companion. He was missing that. He wanted to feel that nurturing, not just know that it was in him. He wanted to feel it. You can't, brothers, I don't care how much you love yourself and love on yourself, you still want somebody with some soft hands to be, how you doing?
The rub on.
Yeah, you want somebody to be like, ooh, you got some strong muscles. You still want that. And then you want the sister that when you're out of town and you're taking care of something and something happens, she's strong enough and assertive enough to be your proxy to handle business for you.
Mm,
Now
I
you
like
can't
that.
tell me you got a business but you don't want your significant other to be your proxy. You don't want that. You don't want to be successful because two are better than one. You can have a number two, but having two is better than one. I don't care what nobody say. You want somebody that's your proxy, and that doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be more masculine or feminine. She's going to be balanced because she's going to have to be, or he's going to have to be. Because sometimes the CEO is a female. You want somebody that can be your proxy. I don't care what you got going on in your life. I don't care if you just running you the candy lady in the neighborhood. You want somebody that's your proxy. That when you go somewhere and you gotta go out of town, you still got some inventory. Your boo thing, whomever they are, whatever energy and gender they are, can handle your candy shop business. You the candy lady. It can still happen when you're not there. And you know
Yeah,
everything is gonna be accounted for because they are your proxy.
yeah, that's true. And another thing that I read, it was talking about feminine energy is it has expresses emotion, and you will want a man because you know how we're like, oh, he don't tell me how he feel. I don't know what he's feeling, or I don't know,
That's that man's
he
man.
ain't talking.
Enjoy that.
Yeah,
That's that
yeah,
man's
he
man.
ain't telling me.
Enjoy that.
But you will want a man to be able to tap into his femininity and be able to be vulnerable and expressive of how he feels. Because if each of you don't tell or not expressive and being vulnerable and honest of how you really feel, then who are you really in a relationship with?
It's like she said, you got to be connected. You want to feel connected to somebody. If they can't voice how they feel about you, honey, even your
Or
job,
about anything.
if they don't give you
Yeah.
accolades for when you do something exceptionally well, you don't feel appreciated. You don't feel connected to that thing. You just call it a job. I'm going to work. I'm not in a career. How many of you are still calling your job a job and not a career? Because if it's not a
Mm-hmm.
career, that means a career is something that you're invested in. That's connection. A job, you just there for the paycheck. I'm just saying, I just wanted to throw that in there. That's sidebar, sorry. But you want to feel
Thank you,
connected.
Cyber.
You want to feel connected to the person that you're with. Even when you're working, like sis and I'm a little bit more assertive. I'm a little bit more loud. We're both funny though. We both have that. We work well together. She balances me out. She like, I want to be more consistent. We gotta be consistent. She's out of town. Me, I would have been like, sis, let's reschedule for another day. You know what I'm saying? I gotta sync. I gotta sync out here. I need this. I need this. I can't be giving God the I need to give God the you know, I need my voice. But that's me though. That's just how I am. I don't like to overwork myself, and I don't like to stress out myself. And this would have been stressful if it was the tables were turned. If it was me, But I would have felt guilty and been like, "Come on, sis, let's go ahead and do it," because that's how I am now. I'm learning to balance myself out. I can see what's holding me back. If I'm more of the more goal driven and more what's the word? I wrote it down here. It's in masculine energy. Logical about it and be more, conquering of it. Like, okay, you know that you got all this to do. Prepare yourself for it. Conquer, be goal driven. Conquer this thing. Don't just be like, oh, that's too much. I'm stressing out. No, just be balanced with it. If this is all you have to do, then you space the next things that you have to do so that you can recoup. It's a balance. It's a balance. That's all we
It's a
saying.
balance.
You gotta have
Yeah.
a balance. You gotta have a balance. I don't care what nobody say. I'm so grateful to have Lakeisha as my purpose partner right now. And I have to say this to you, sis. You really do help me. Y'all think we just doing this to be doing it? No, we actually growing. We're being as well. We're becoming. We're
Yeah.
doing this thing together.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you, sis. I really do.
Yeah. I appreciate you too. I appreciate you
Appreciate you.
too.
Appreciate you.
I really do.
We about to come
And
up
I
on us.
appreciate y'all God for your patience. I appreciate everybody for their patience because I know on my end it was a little raggedy. I had to move around,
It's,
but
it's called
I
real
wanted to
life.
make sure that we did come on. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we did come in. I didn't want us to switch up anything because we have been consistently doing it on Sundays at 3, and that's what I want us to. I'm like, just want to be consistent. And so hopefully something that we said that you guys can just take it because like I said, I didn't get the whole red pill, blue pill, masculinity, feminine. I didn't understand any of that because I was just a woman that had to do what she had to do in spite of what was going on with it around me or whatever. I just made sure I handled it because that was you handle it. You handled it. That's what you do.
That's right.
And so I never equated to me being masculine or operating in that energy. I just it needed something need to be done and I just do it, you
Right.
know. And so but I never equated to that because I still think again, you have to have that healthy balance. Even though I'm more of a logical and make sure things get done, I do have feminine qualities. I ain't gonna say feminine qualities. I would say I do operate in my femininity because I am soft. I am nurturing. I am caring. I'm supportive. That's to anybody that comes in contact with me. Anybody that comes in contact with me, I think that's for a purpose because nobody comes in your life just by happenstance. And
Right.
so there's a purpose for the connection. And so I do honor those. And so I make sure that people get the best of me. But in order for people to get the best of me, I have to be the best within me. And so that's what um, that's what a Hey Sis You Good podcast is about. Just making sure that we're here to be a safe place, a soft place, you know, where we can express love, share, laugh, and most definitely grow and evolve past where we are.
Yes, I agree. I agree. And there has to be a balance to that. Sisterhood is not just about nurturing, but it's also about being able to have discipline. And that's what
Yeah.
we give that here too. We don't I just gave an example of discipline. Sis has more discipline than I do. And I'm being real. This is something that I'm growing in. I never had to have discipline. I just told people what to do. I'm just being real. I'm used to just telling people what to do and they do it. That's just, and if something needs to be done, I do it and then I move it out the way. But I'm just saying, like, there are certain things about this podcast that you're gonna learn. They're gonna be like, wow, I never thought of it that way. And it is the truth. It's a lot of things. You can have a different perspective of anything. Nothing is just one way.
No.
Nothing is one way. And if you are a parent, you have learned that you cannot parent one child the way you parent another child. There has to be a balance to it because one needs more of something that the other one doesn't. One needs more attention. One needs more staying after. You got to constantly say something to that child. Or the one child needs to be left alone because they do better when they're left alone. And that's what you have to understand. I just gave 3 examples of my own children. I'm just saying. That's what I know. But the Hey Sis You Good podcast is exactly that. We're a sisterhood here. And that's why I put the hashtag down there, because that's what we are. We're not here to bash. We're not here to judge. In fact, we putting down our rocks. We not casting those stones. We dropping our rocks. We don't care to do that. We care to teach you how to elevate. We're here to educate, elevate, and inspire you. And you have to know what everything that we're giving you. We already talked to God about, and it's actually kind of flowing if you look at it. The episodes are flowing. We're about to get really deep, y'all. Just wait for God to open this up more. And we love for you to communicate with us. Tell us what's on
Yes.
your mind. Tell us what you think about the live streams. Do you like it on Instagram or do you prefer it on YouTube? Hey, we're both on YouTube. You see both of these on YouTube. Just let us know. If you're on YouTube, be sure to follow. Be sure to share and subscribe. I said follow, didn't I? Subscribe. I meant to say subscribe, like the video, and share it with a friend. And
Yes.
if you're here on,
Most definitely check in by commenting. That's how
that's
you
right.
check in
Check
with
in
us.
with us.
Comment.
Check in. I asked some good
That's how we know
questions.
how you're doing.
Yeah, let us know. We be wanting to know. We be watching y'all because y'all watch us. So we be waiting to see what y'all want to talk about. Let us know the topics you want to discuss too. Let us know if these good topics. Have you liked the previous episodes? What do you think? We want to hear from you. Capiche? Capiche.
Capiche. You gonna pray us out?
Yes, most definitely. Dear Heavenly Father, God, we thank you, Most High God, for everything that you're doing right now in our lives. We thank you for this opportunity to gather together again. We thank you for the knowledge. We thank you for the fully functioning of our brains so that we can comprehend this knowledge and absorb it and assimilate it to our lives, God, and apply it, God, and walk this thing out with you. We thank you for the Hey Sis You Good podcast. As you know, I always lay it at your feet and give it to you and sit it on the throne so that you may breathe on it and expand it and grow it in ways that you see fit to edify your kingdom. God, we thank you for Lakeisha. We ask that you give her divine protection and anoint her voice so that she may sing all her C's as high as she possibly needs for them to be, God, while she is there to perform in edifying your kingdom. And God, we ask that you give them divine protection as they go on their path today and travel home safely. God, we thank you right now. We ask that every ear that have heard the words of our mouth and the meditations of our heart, that you will bless these words so that it may take root and it may resonate with them, and that they may come to you saying, God, I want to be balanced. God, show me how to be balanced because you created me, God. I want more of you in my life. God, we thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for this time right now. In Yeshua's name, I pray. Amen. Amen. In Jesus' name, y'all. I say Yeshua because that's what it is in actual Hebrew. It's Yeshua. It's not Jesus. That's Greek. We not Greek. All right. He wasn't Greek either. I'm just saying. If he was African, we would have to pronounce every syllable of his name. So I'm just saying, we go give the man his props. That's all. I love y'all so very much. This was a
Love
very,
y'all.
very good one. And thank you, Lakeisha. Thank you so much. And I appreciate your dedication and your discipline and you operating in your masculine energy to get this thing done because we need it. We need it. We need it.
Yeah.
I love you, sis. Be safe.
Love you too. Bye, you guys. Enjoy your week.
Enjoy your week, everyone. Have a blessed one.